All right, so I am right in the middle of the dreaded Wildcat XX water pump failure. And you can see that I have this taken apart pretty thoroughly. Got both the shocks and both wheels off. I figured I'd make it easy on myself, give myself a little room to work. I also took off the bottom cage, which is pretty easy to do. I figured that would reduce the mess that draining coolant makes. So there are 8 bolts. You can see, let's see, right here, there's 4 of those, 2 on the back, 2 underneath, and then you have some heat shield bolts they need to take out, and then it's real easy to take out once you get those bolts. Give you more room to work. I have the swing arm strapped up there. If you leave a wheel on, then the sway bar will limit how much that moves, but since I took them both off, I have them both strapped up there. So first thing you need to do is get your, sorry, I'm new at this camera holder thing. You need to get your number 3 cylinder to top dead center, and I have this intentionally located wrong so I can show you what not to do. So if you can see in there, there's a mark with an H. So there's basically 2 marks there, and you don't want that because that will put your balancer harmonic or your balancer in the wrong place, and you won't be able to get the pump out. So there's your balancer, and there's a gear on the water pump, and that will keep it from coming out. So I will put that in the right place and show you what that looks like. All right, we're back with the right mark in the right place, and let's see if I can do this. It's hard to do with one hand. All right, I think I got it now. Well, before we get into where the mark is, make sure you only turn this clockwise. This is on the passenger side or the stator side of the engine, and you only want to turn that clockwise. The manual says you will experience severe catastrophic damage or something like that. So if you turn it counterclockwise, so don't do that. All right, so now you can see the mark on the flywheel or the stator, and then you have the mark that it lines up with on the case. Sorry, I'm moving around so much, and that's where you need to be for top dead center, number 3 cylinder, and that will put your balancer in the right place. You can see there that the balancer looks like it's about 180 degrees from where it was before, and you can see the gear that drives the gear on the impeller. So obviously, so that was first step, getting the number 3 cylinder at top dead center. Obviously, I have a lot more stuff taken apart here. I have the clutch cover, the inner clutch cover, the 2 clutches, primary and secondary, or drive and driven clutches. That tube right there is, I believe that's a return to the pump. Then the pump goes into there, or the cylinder thing, that, and then it comes out of that tube right there and goes to the radiator. So that nut or that bolt you see right there, that's shiny, that is where your thermostat is. It's if you overheat, you probably want to at least check your thermostat, if not replace it. I checked mine and it is good, so I'm going to leave that in there. Also, there's a picture I want to show you later. A lot of people put holes in their thermostat to help with bleeding, which of course is a good idea, but that was my original point of taking that apart, was to see if there was a hole in that thermostat, and there is, and you can see that without taking the thermostat out, and I'll show you a picture of that later. Okay, here I'm going to show you the water pump. There's the housing. It's in two pieces, and right now I just have all these screws sitting there so I don't lose them. And so this is the assembly, and then these three Phillips head screws hold the cover onto the assembly. Obviously the impeller is not in there, but you have a seal here, you have an oil seal in the middle, and then you have a bearing on this side. And that stuff is right there, and there's my broken impeller. So this stuff also comes out pretty easily. I think they call that a damper. But so I wanted to see what this looked like failed. So there's another video, I'll have that up, where I'm just doing this exact same thing. So you can see that, I mean, obviously it's broken, but so I wanted to see how this was attached, and this is just molded in the plastic. Oops. And it's got a, let's see if we can, with a pin pressed through there. So this whole thing goes together basically. So there's the impeller, if it wasn't broken, goes through this housing, through the seals. On the other side, you have a retaining clip. Then these pins, well, the gear drives this shaft by engaging with these pins. Like that. And this gear is on the other side here. And this whole thing sorry, I had that wrong, oriented wrong. This goes through here. And sits about like that. And then the whole pump assembly goes in to the side of the engine, and the gear engages with that gear that I showed you near the counterbalancer. So what else? Here's the seals. This is the seal that goes closest to the impeller. I took, so after I got the bearing out, oh, that's another thing I want to show you. All right, here's the oil seal. I think they call that the oil seal. that's going to be in the middle there. Then this bearing is going to be here, and then you'll have this seal there. So first thing you want to do is take that bearing out, and you'll need, well, I did it with a special tool. It's probably a good idea if you had the same tool, and that is right here. It is a slide hammer, bearing removing slide hammer, and probably easiest if you just take this off, loosen this up, and this thing expands as you twist to catch the lip of the bearing, so that way you can slam it out. So basically you put it in like that, tighten it up, and then put on your slide hammer, and slam it out. Of course, it's going to take a whole lot more slams than that to get this bearing out. I think it took me, I don't know, 5, 6 slams, I don't know. But get that out, then you can get this oil seal out. Just pry it out with a screwdriver, and then this is pressed in pretty good. It's also got some sealant on it, and there's a lip. You can't really get under that lip without chewing things up. So get a socket. I think I thought I had one around here that fit. Anyway, imagine a socket that fits in here. And just take a hammer and pop that out. That was also pretty hard to get out, but not too bad. So, like I said, I'm waiting for parts. Hopefully I'll get some of them today, start putting this back together, and we'll show you what that looks like. Something I think I should mention about these screws and bolts on this cover assembly, or this pump assembly, they're not all the same length. So you can see down here I have a mark, and that's for a short one. That one goes there. Most of these are the same length. This one has a gold mark, and that goes over here. Another gold mark goes over here. And that looks like all of them. So just pay attention to details like that, and make it easy for yourself, so when you go to put it back together, you're not running a long bolt into a short hole, and vice versa. So hopefully this is a help to you guys, anyone who's running into this issue. And yeah, like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks.